Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Asma. I'm a pediatric doctor and I'm from Pakistan, where I did my specialization in pediatrics, which is FCPS. And after that, we moved to the UK, where I finished my MRCPCH, and presently I'm working as a subspecialty trainee in London. In this video, I would guide you to prepare yourself for the NHS interview. I guess the first thing that needs to clarification is that what do the assessors need to see in a candidate? And this whole interview, the reason of conduction of this interview is to assess all those qualities. So they want to make sure that the candidate they are selecting is safe and reasonably reliable person to undertake those duties and responsibilities. So make each and every question an opportunity to show your confidence and your competence in a natural way, and then tie it up with your experience. I would go through the structure of the interview, and usually the structure of the interview has three basic components, which I have seen most of the times. Although I would speak more about the pediatrics and my examples would be more relevant to pediatrics, but usually they are quite general. So first question usually regards about your to tell about yourself, or introduce yourself. So and after that they would ask about clinical scenarios, and in the end it will be they'll ask about your future plans, and they wind up the talk by asking if you have any concerns, queries, or you want to ask any questions. The first question is the most important bit, and take it as an open question and as an advantage and opportunity to display your whole personality into squeezed time. So the time usually for these interviews is 20 to 30 minutes, but the way it is divided, it runs quite fast, so you won't be given a lot of time to be spent on each and every scenario and each and every question. So I would recommend it is best to make a sketch or just a vague idea of how would you will tackle each and everything. uh, um, as I've said, the first question is usually to begin, to start, to let to know each other. So they would ask about to tell about yourself and your experience. So handle this question in a way that it should reflect your experience, learning, and your skills to be suitable for working in the NHS. So a guide would be that if you want to ask your colleagues working in the NHS, or you want to, read vlogs or watch YouTube videos of how this NHS system works, because it can be quite different to where you're coming from. So more familiar you are, more reasonably you will be giving the answers. I would say don't spend time in what a dates and years and numbers where you have graduated. The names and numbers, they don't matter that much, but focus on your responsibility presently for the role you have applied for. So if I have applied for a senior registrar post. So for example, I will say that I am Dr. Asma. I have done specialization FCPS from Pakistan, and mostly my education and experience is from Pakistan. And FCPS is a 4-year general pediatric training, and I am working in a district general hospital, which is a 25 bedded pediatric unit, and it has a 10 bedded neonatal intensive care unit. It has one or two pediatric intensive care bed which have ventilators, and it has a 4 neonatal intensive bed with ventilators and 2 CPAP. So we usually get the patients as acute as emergency, and if they are if we can manage them on ventilator and they are getting better, we keep them. But if they have any organ dysfunction or they are deteriorating, we transfer them to the tertiary care. So the next question definitely would be your skills, and if you are able to do XYZ procedures. This introduction about yourself has already filled them in about your seniority, about the system basic framework you're working in, and how much confident or fluent you would be in dealing with common childhood illnesses, presentations, emergency situations, and on-call program. So. Um, Definitely, if you are working as a senior registrar in a hospital which has ventilator, will give them an indication that you would be quite familiar with running a resus scenario, intubating children, neonates, and then would know about the ventilator setting, and would know about procedures like lumbar puncture, or if it is an emergency thoracic decompression. So it depends all about which level you're applying, but I'm just explaining that once you set up your experience and relevance to the post, it just explains everything on its own. So they don't have to spend additional questions and ask you directly about XYZ procedures. If I'm applying for a junior role, I would just in the similar situation, I would say that I am working in XYZ unit with this number of beds, which are HTU and intensive care, and we work on calls, and we have a senior registrar who is a resident with us, and in dealing with the acute emergency, I have seen XYZ, and we usually face, this is the patient turnover. So you can mold and modify your questions according to what level you're applying for and what are your competencies. So keep it very brief. I would say that, as I said, just write basic framework of what basics, statements you will go through, facts you will tell in that time, because that's an open question. So then they can link yourself in the NHS situation. First, the first question is this. Secondly, they will come to the clinical scenario. Most of this time, I have seen the clinical scenario would be like 3-4 types. One would be like common presentation, where you will safety net and let them go. So like if a child arrives with cough and cold or fever or rash, how you make sure that you are not missing any red flags. You reassure them, you safety net by saying that if you are feeling XYZ, then you contact your GP or return back or give us a call or something. That is pretty straightforward. Then moving on to other questions, like I have seen safeguarding is a question which is quite consistently asked. Like if you have a baby who is non-mobile and you have found a bruise on a soft part of the baby, like cheek, or any bruising which is unexplained, so how would you proceed? So then you have to know in NHS that we follow all the safeguarding protocol. We admit the children, we let the consultant know, we do the body maps and do the whole interview of child protection medical, and we involve the social services, and so on and so forth. So this is another scenario. The other one would be acute emergency. So one would be like a pediatric and one would be neonatal. And similarly, adults, it would be like in emergency situation, and if somebody is already in CICU and stuff. So this can interplay with the specialties, but it would be like at least two kind of clinical emergency. So if you have a child who is coming with breathing difficulty, low saturation, is wheezy, so it's prompting you that it might be asthma, but don't forget that it can be a differential of myocarditis or anything else. So keep your mind slightly open and go with airway, breathing, circulation, going for stability, and then getting onto the differential and then management. So if you apply airway, breathing, circulation, secondary sir with this rule to the emergency, it makes it more concrete that even if you have gone accidentally wrong in guessing the scenario, you would be still given a consideration that you had a correct approach. Now moving to neonatal, for example, if you have a crash call for a neonate born, for example, 32 weeks, and is poorly and is pale and is flat, so how would you proceed? So similarly, you will go for the inflation breaths, and then if it is you're still feeling you're struggling and you need to put a definite airway, you will intubate, ventilate, start the chest compression, and XYZ as it goes. So all the all the scenarios are the same as your general practice, but definitely revise them and revise how the NHS work. It might be slightly different than what your setup is. Always ask for help in emergency situation. Ask that I will definitely need my consultant to be with me. And that just makes them feel that you're not overconfident, and you're not trying to overdo the questions. And that's the best and safest approach as well. And a closing question usually and there is a, I'm sorry, another question which regards like governance question, like any question with the situation, with the colleague, with the drug error, with the nurse, with the rota, with the pressure of work. So these questions can also come, and you have to deal them very carefully and safely, so it does not break the confidentiality, and it keeps the system running in a safe way. Now the end would be, what are your future plans? Again, it won't be a massive time left, but make sure that you give answers relevant to the specialty, and always giving an answer that I'm planning to go into the training, and I want to start and know how the NHS system works, but my inspiration is to get into the subspecialty training or pediatric training or internal medicine training. It always helps. And so it just makes them sure that you're changing your country, or you're coming to a different setup, but you are more consistent, and you would stay here for the period that you are contracted with them. Then would be, they will ask you about if you have any questions. I would say that is quite like, I don't mind if you want to ask any question, but at this point, once if when you don't even know about the outcome of the interview, it doesn't so at this stage it doesn't matter much. So if yes, you have secured the position, and then you want to ask question, that is quite sensible, and you can have more focus and more clarity in your mind about what you want to ask. But I guess if they want to ask at the end of the interview, probably just ask when the interview result would be expected, and how would you be contacted. So I guess that's really it. So I hope all the best, and I believe that these just framework helps you to get around the interview successfully. And the end message is the same, that they want to establish that the doctor they are hiring for this post is reliable and is safe and can adapt to this work condition. So all the best, and please like and subscribe. Bye.